Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy, AK Man Soldier, coming to you guys with some more Advanced War gameplay for you guys today. The gameplay you guys are watching isn't really going to be really relevant to what I want to discuss with you guys today, and I'm just going to use whatever gameplay happens to fit this commentary because I do have an actual interesting topic that I wanted to discuss with you guys today. I want to get you guys feedback on what do you guys think about the situation. And to be quite honest, guys, I actually had to do this commentary multiple times because I wanted to put it in a way so that it doesn't sound so one-sided and that I'm not offending anybody because I just felt the need to discuss this on my channel. I do discuss, interesting topics like this, and I felt that this needed to be talked about on my channel because it's been on my mind for quite a while, and that is, about all the whole Ferguson shootings, all the whole the situation in New York City with Garner, and more previously another 12-year-old who was recently shot and killed by police officers. Now, it's really hard to judge exactly what's going on here. Now, I know a lot of people are judging straight to racism and saying that, it's profiling by the cops, and they're just straight up judging to conclusions, and none of these police officers have been indicted. Now, if you're not familiar with the situations already, I'm sure most of you know already, but, if you don't stay in tune with what's going on with the news. Basically, there was a guy who was recently shot and killed by a police officer in Ferguson, and there was a court jury about it. This happened back in August, and the court jury decided not to indict him. Basically, decided not to charge him or put him in jail or anything like that. And this angered a lot of people. It started riots in Ferguson, and there was a lot of people. I'm sure you saw the jokes on Twitter about it. It's been all over the place. I'm sure you saw at least one of them, but it's getting out of hand. And then recently, after that, a 12-year-old was recently shot and killed. Yes, a 12-year-old was shot and killed by two police officers because they assumed that he was carrying a lethal weapon, or a pistol to be more specific. And someone called it in to 911, and here's the thing. This one is slightly different than Ferguson because, Ferguson, a lot of people said, oh, that's straight up racism. They just killed him out of hand. And, me personally, I'm not jumping to conclusions on what happened in Ferguson because you really can't judge it because everybody's story was fishy. Everybody's story that they were providing to help get him indicted was really fishy. It wasn't much to go on by, and for that reason, I feel that the decision in Ferguson was, in a way, correct, but at the same time, it just angers a lot of people that nothing's happened with that situation. Now, with the 12-year-old shooting, this one's really difficult to really say anything about because what happened is that somebody had called it into 911 saying that there was a potential kid with a lethal weapon or a pistol or whatever it was. They called it in. But the thing is that the authorities are at fault on this one, in my opinion, because the person that called it in, and I'm sure you can find it on the internet. If I could find it, I'll link it, but I may not link it because of copyright issues, and that's private information that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to link out there on the internet. But what happened is that the person that called it in, he actually warned the authorities saying that it could be a fake gun. He said it at least 3 times in the call. It could be a fake gun. It could be a fake gun. Now, here's the part where it gets sketchy. The dispatcher, now if you're not familiar with the dispatcher is the person who warns the authorities about the situation, basically the person on the 911 line, and the dispatcher failed to communicate that information to the cops, telling them that the weapon has a high chance of being fake. Now, this makes me wonder, who is at fault on this one? Is it the cops? Because the cops didn't really do anything. They just drove up to the kid. They didn't say hands up or anything. You have the right to remain silent, blah, blah, blah. They didn't do any of that stuff. They just drove up to him, pointed their guns, and then shot him. That was it. The kid was dead in a flash of a second, basically, just like that. And it makes you wonder, who is at fault here? Would it be the dispatcher? Would it be the local authorities who just shot this kid out of random? And, it's really difficult to decide what's going on. Now, I know a lot of people are just saying, well, the cop shot him out of self-defense because, for all we know, the cop could have lost his life should the gun have been real or not. Or, it's really difficult to judge who's at fault. But in my opinion, right now, these cops really need to be careful about what they're doing because, I'll move on to the next situation, but things are just getting way out of hand. It really breaks trust with cops. Now, moving on to New York City situation, me personally, this one affects me a lot because I am in the New York area, New York City, Midtown area. And basically, what happened with this one is that a person about 400 pounds, I believe his age was like 43 or something like that, but he was recently shot and killed by cops again because I think that they were about to charge him for. I think they were about to charge him because he was selling cigarettes or something like that, some sort of drugs. Now, let me give you guys some information on this guy's background. He has about 30 arrests on his record, and he has a case of asthma and a couple other health issues with him. And basically, what happened was the cops approached him because he was selling cigarettes, I guess it was, or some sort of drugs. I don't remember exactly what they were. And the cops decided, well, maybe he's not complying or something. And then the person said, "It stops now." Now, no one knows exactly what he means by "it stops now." It's still unclear what he meant by that. But after that, the cops eventually put him in a chokehold, or whatever they want to call it. Some people say it wasn't a chokehold, but everybody says it was a chokehold, and I believe it was a chokehold. The officer put him in a chokehold, brought him down to the ground, and the guy kept yelling, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." He said it at least 11 times, and they still would not let him out of that chokehold. And he eventually passed out and died at the hospital a couple hours later of choking. And what happened was there was a court case on this as well, and obviously the court decision was that they decided not to indict the police officer. Now where does this put us exactly? It really puts us at a tough situation, and regardless, the cops have a tough job, guys. Like, don't just put it all on the cops. Don't just, put the blame instantly on the cops and say they're not doing their job properly. They have a very hard job. Now, I feel for that. I understand what they're going through, but being that it's a hard job, you have to accept that you're taking this hard job. You have to accept that you have to know how to handle these situations properly in a way that it's not going to piss off the entire nation. Because right now, New York City's pissed off. I saw these strikes going on yesterday as I was leaving work, and it's getting out of hand. New York City is just going to go downhill if these things don't get resolved properly. And the cops have such a tough job deciding whether or not these situations are getting out of hand, whether they think that the guy should be brought down to the ground. Because if you look at the video, he's not resisting arrest. Somebody said that he was resisting arrest or something like that, and a couple of the congressmen. Now, if you saw on my Twitter, I'm pretty pissed off about this. I don't want to make it sound like I'm extremely pissed off, but I cannot lie. I am pretty pissed off about the whole situation going on, especially with the Garner situation in New York. Like I said on Twitter, if I see an R next to your name, I'm most likely not going to listen to you, because right now they are pretty much going against what everybody believes right now. They say that everything is Garner's fault. Maybe he'll still be alive if he hadn't done such and such. Everybody think that he was resisting arrest, or at least the Republicans think that he was resisting arrest, and a few other congressmen. But if you look at the video, he's not really resisting arrest. He's trying to get the guy off. I think he was trying to get him off his neck a couple times, because he said he couldn't breathe like a billion times. But it makes you wonder, like, who should be the one at fault for this? Who should be the one getting charged for this? Will there be a change in our government? Because right now our court systems are definitely not balanced. They are in no way fair to everybody that this has happened to. And actually, I watched a little bit of a montage, I guess you want to call it that. Watched a little bit of a montage on CNN of the amount of people that were killed by police officers, and just in New York, not Ferguson or any other city, just in New York. They showed a little montage of the amount of people that were, or more specifically, the amount of African Americans who were killed by police officers. And, this has happened way too many times. And, actually, there was another case that a lot of people don't know too much about, but it did happen. Another African American was killed by police officers. He was raided in his apartment, and they didn't even ask questions or anything. They just raided it and then killed him on the spot. And it makes you wonder, like, can you trust the cops anymore? Who are we to trust? Because right now there's no trust whatsoever. I was watching these protests going on in New York, and literally it's getting out of hand. So right now the real question is, what should be done to our court system? Who should be the one at fault for this? And should the cities be more in check with their police officers on what they're doing? Because right now they're kind of just letting these police officers go free. They shouldn't be getting off for this, in my opinion. There's too many of them that gotten away with this. it makes me wonder: is it power hungry getting to their heads? Is it because that they're high and mighty, that they're carrying a gun, that they can do whatever the heck they want nowadays? Now, it's, like I said, I'm gonna keep this commentary, G rated, because I don't want to go off. I don't want to go off on a rant about what's been going on. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to speak my mind on what I think about the situation. But regardless, I don't want to make this commentary go any longer than 15 minutes. So let me know in the comments box what you guys think about the situation. Who should be at fault about this? What do you guys think? Should there be a change to our court system? Should there be a change to the police officers? Who should be arrested for this? In my opinion, that's another big question. And should there be justice for the amount of people that have died for this type of stuff? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. It wasn't exactly as structured as I like, but this is about as structured as I could get it for you guys. So I hope you guys do enjoy this commentary. Let me know if there's anything you guys like to discuss in the comments box or on my personal Twitter. And it's your boy AK signing out. And peace.